you?
Morning.
That came as a
Morning.
surprise, did it, when you came down the pole?
When I came down the pole, oh, yeah. I do slide down a lot of poles, and then, to my dismay, horror and shock, I was startled.
Can you
they were all there.
The first bit of that sentence, you do slide down a lot of poles.
I do,
What's
yeah,
that about?
well, mostly because of the questing that I do. I'm a laser quest enthusiast, as some of you might already realise, yeah. But I do a lot of solo questing just to keep my eye in, you know.
I don't associate Laser Quest with poles that much. There's always a pole in the game.
No, but I think usually I climb up the pole to try and shock the people at the top. It's just it's the element of surprise, you know.
What a great, fun thing to do on your own.
And it's a great way to keep fit as well.
Yeah.
So this is the tracksuit I normally wear for Laser Quest, because it's dark. Yeah, smaller target.
Is this something you share?
No, he's a solo quester. He doesn't allow any friends or colleagues.
It's a very personal thing for me. It's part of my personal journey.
Can I just make the point that here we are. It feels very tranquil right here, right now, doesn't it? It's on BBC Breakfast. It's all very calm.
It's very early.
It is early. The contrast between this and your performance on stage could not be greater, could it?
You could describe it as the calm before the slightly less calm.
It is like that. It is so high octane what you do on stage. Is it, as the years go by, I'm being delicate here?
What years? You mean decades?
As the years pass, is it still there? Do you have to tap in harder to get to that place? Is it changed?
No, I think as soon as you set foot on a stage, and we're on tour at the moment, by the way, so I can speak from very recent experience. As soon as you step on stage, the spirit engulfs you, and then you're just like, oh, yeah, this is it. I always say that at the beginning of your career, the persona that you have when you perform is an exaggeration of yourself, and then 25 years in, it's the other way around. So, like, your true self is the person on stage, and then everything else is a subdued version of yourself.
That's really interesting. So, Rufus, describe for me, pretend Justin's not here, just about to go on stage, you know, just before the gig. Is he like this, or is he turned in? Is he become the sort of character almost we see on stage? In the wings, just before.
He's this guy, but yeah, once the adrenaline kicks in, we start having a little. He'll be doing his vocal warm-ups and stuff, and then we'll have a little huddle, and we'll give a rousing speech to each other, and then.
I often misread those situations and try and kiss Rufus on the mouth because he's so beautiful.
And do you?
How do you deal with those lunges?
You know, we're all
It's not
huddled.
a lunge,
so
by the way. It's a gentle lean-in.
OK.
With my eyes closed and my mouth open.
I imagine the
warm-up.
In a corner.
That's more enough of that. I imagine the warm-up, your warm-up noise must be quite spectacular in itself.
No, actually, you know, to be honest, a few years ago I had a polyp on my vocal cords, and then I went to the Zurich Opera House and they taught me how to warm up properly like opera singers do. And it's actually quite a calm kind of 20 minutes of just gargling and muttering and mumbling. It sounds like I'm basically just sort of talking to myself.
Are we able to hear any of that, or is that not?
No, it's a very private process, really. But I do have a Patreon where I share some of my secrets, but we probably won't do a link to that.
But rock and roll does have to become a little bit more grown up as you get older, doesn't it, Rufus? Like, you have to look after yourself a bit better if you're going to have the stamina to carry on, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. But then again, I do know people in their 80s who would disagree with that. But yes, you're right.
I'm just looking at both of your complexions and teeth. You just look very wholesome.
Well, yeah, we've been touring for quite a long time now, so I think you do get into a routine of looking after yourself a little bit.
I only mention it, Rufus, because it feels rather relevant given what you just said, because your dad is a drummer.
Yeah.
People might know him.
Yeah.
Is it Roger Taylor, of course. So you've seen people who can have incredibly long careers in rock and roll. You've seen it firsthand.
Absolutely, yeah. And and they're still going. So you know.
Who is at your gigs? Because I've booked some gigs from my favourite 90s bands coming up over the summer, and I'm wondering whether it's like, I'm going to go and see Morrissey, and I think, is it all going to be people my age, or are there going to be 20-year-olds who are going to be there?
That's a good question.
Do you have a really good mix of ages?
Honestly, from the beginning of our career, we've always had, like, several generations, so people who were into that kind of, you know, the unfashionable rock that we were, you know, people thought we were doing. And then their children, and now their grandchildren, and there's always been, like, a huge, diverse age range.
That's really nice to have that mix.
Yeah, it's lovely, yeah.
Is it true there's a picture of you in space?
That is true. That's a really good bit of research, actually. Yeah.
Explain.
Somewhere in space. My great uncle Fred, who we don't often speak of. He was the musical one. He taught the keyboard player from Boney M.
OK.
Not the Boney M, but one of the many touring incarnations of Boney M. He taught the young keyboard player that took over. Anyway, it doesn't matter about that. He was a photographer.
Anyway,
He took a photo of me. I had a hose pipe, and I was filling up a Wellington boot that my brother was wearing.
What age?
I think I was probably 5 or 6 or something like that. And then they put it on a disc and sent it up into space.
Was your brother in the Wellington boot?
He was wearing the... I don't remember, to be honest, but the idea of it was so that aliens could see 80s children at play.
And that would be you?
Yeah. So, yeah, when the aliens see that, they'll go, that's that bloke out of the darkness and his brother, the other bloke out of the darkness, with a Wellington boot and a hose pipe.
That is quite something, isn't it? Yeah. So when are you on stage next?
Tonight we're playing...
Tonight?
Yeah, we've got to go back to Liverpool and play tonight. We're promoting our forthcoming album, Dreams on Toast, which we're really excited about. It comes out on the 28th of March, and it's got our best work on it, bar none. And Rufus has been instrumental in revitalising, you know, and rejuvenating the experience of being in the darkness and what it means to be like... Because I'm coming up to 28, as you probably know, on the 17th of March I'll be celebrating that significant birthday, and he makes me feel not a day older than 25.
It's been lovely having you this morning. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful 28th birthday, and enjoy Liverpool tonight. It's always a brilliant
night. Will you
night.
get a power nap in between now and the gig?
Unlikely, I would say. I think the adrenaline of having been on television will keep me going now, right up to the show.
Oh, it's on midnight.
Good.
Enjoy.
Glad to be of service.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We've got the headlines.